Hello everybody, my name's Marie St. Sandy, Glasgow's Queen of Poetry, Glasgow's Queen of Wine, Glasgow's Queen of Whining and Moaning. So I thought today I would go through my makeup routine. I've never ever done like a full step-by-step version of it. I've done a couple transformation ones, but they are horrifically out of date. So I thought I would give you the updated 2020 quarantine makeup routine. So I've already primed and moisturised my face. And the first thing I'm going to do is colour correct using this flash... Oh my god, look at the fucking state of that. I'm just using a beauty blender and I'm doing tiny little dots. I'm not going too crazy. And I kind of just smush it all in like that. And it'll just counteract that beard. My beard grows in all the time. It grows in... See, I'm a bloke. So I have a beard and it grows in quick and I burp and I'm disgusting. I'm just setting this down with baby powder. I take a big fan brush and we're going to pop on a wig cap. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this is some Weave Bond, and I'm going to place about a strip here, one here, get some tape. But normally I wouldn't use tape like this. I would use like a kind of paper tape or like any other kind of masking tape. This is literally all I have at the moment. It does the job, it's just a bit harder to cover up with makeup. But we're gonna wait for that Weave Bond to go tacky and then we're gonna stick it on. Woof woof. We're just gonna hike that all up. Okay, so now that we've lifted up the sides, we're just going to secure that. So now that we've prepped the face, we're going to get onto our foundation routine. My foundation routine has changed dramatically since quarantine because I've been working with limited resources, and my sister handed down a ton of foundation to me. So I'm going to take this one here, this L'Oreal Vanilla, and I'm going to take this Maybelline Caramel shade. Got a good serving of that, and add like pump and a bit of that, and then just... This is basically trial and error. It'll take you a few times to get it right, but what to do is just test it on your face each time you do it, just like that, and see if it works. And also take your lighter shade, so I'm going to take this one here, this is my lighter shade, and see how it looks in contrast. Oh. Okay, so after I've distributed the foundation all over my face, we're gonna start patting it in, just to make sure that the coverage is like nice and even. Don't forget to drag it down your neck. Okay, so using the same foundation brush, we're gonna take the lighter foundation and do a right angled triangle. Get it like right up the nose as well, because we want the nose to be as thin as possible. So like just kind of go like that and it'll create the illusion of a thinner nose. See already? And then just do like, I usually just do like a tiny wee dot here. And then just blend it out. I usually start with the chin and just kind of do it on the spot like that. So I usually just start around the edges and work my way inwards. Because I kind of want as much of the intensity on the high points, you know, to remain. When I blend, sometimes I do just like put it into the eyes. It doesn't really matter because all of that's going to get covered in eyeshadow, but it just helps with the coverage like right up close at your eyes. And also if you feel as though it's not bright enough, then you can just keep adding, layering it up. Okay, so now we're going to do the contours. So I'm going to use this Anastasia Beverly Hills foundation. It's like running out, so I'm just like put it on the temples. I'm also redefining the jaw. I'm not doing like the whole jawline, I'm just getting rid of like the squareness. And then using whatever's left on the brush, I'm gonna start the nose contour. So I usually go like, kind of like, kind of extending it out from the nostrils like that. So it's like that. And kind of just patting around it to just blend it ever so slightly, see? Like literally just the tiniest bit. And then add the line down the center of the nose as well. I'm gonna use my finger and just sort of, I don't really blend it down, I kind of just blend it in, if that makes sense. You kind of want that nose contour to be like as invisible as possible, really. Oofed. See that? Just start patting the contours in. And if you blend it down too much, don't really worry, because we'll clean it up. So I'm taking a blender with a tiny bit of product on it and kind of just swooshing and patting, kind of a combination of the two, and just cleaning that up a bit, and also just making the line a bit more blended, and then that way it looks like a natural contour as opposed to just a great big cut line. And you see there your contours are still like, they're still striking, but they're just a little bit more seamless from both ends. And then we're going to bake the high points with this translucent powder from Revolution. I'm also going to take this baking powder and use it just to help define the cheek contours. Okay, so the next step is going to be, we're going to start off with the powder contours. So I like to do it in stages, but I almost do it backwards. So I start off with like my kind of warm, blushy tones first. So I'm going to start off with this. This is just a sample of a Benefit Peachy blush. And it makes a really, really good transition shade more than anything. And I'm just using this to warm up what we've done, really. I don't know if you can see that, but excuse me. Then I take this gigantic palette from Revolution. I take kind of some, let me think. I'll take this orangey kind of shade, maybe mix it with a bit of brown, and just oh, coronavirus. And then I take like this really, really dark, it's actually an eyebrow palette, but I take the dark powder shades from that and put them right in the kind of deep points. And at the very edge, kind of just pat it in. There we are. Okay, so now that the base is more or less done, we'll come back to it later with blushes and highlights and top-ups and things like that. But now we're going to take this white and a brush, and we're going to start carving out the eye shapes. I like quite an arched brow, so let's see. We'll go for something like that. And then kind of just start blending all this down. You want like a white base for your eyes because it just helps the pigment in the eyeshadow come up a bit more. So I take a tiny brush and the black from the Flash palette, and I'm going to carve out the eye shapes. So I usually quite like, so I start it at about here. Yeah, so I start it at about here and just sort of drag it upwards. And then I continue it down again so that it almost blends into the nose contour. And that's basically the shadow shape, and then we're going to draw in the outline for the wings as well. So I start it right in the corner here. It tends to cover my whole eyelid. that gives me the angle. And then I just take this line here, I join it down, extend it up a little bit, and then just create a secondary line like that. And what's going to happen is that will probably end up getting smoked out anyway, so did I just get really dark? Oh yes. Okay, so that's basically the eye shade. So seeing as this is just a basic mug tutorial, we'll go in with my signature colours. So what I do is I do like a kind of nude colour at the top, and then I have green and blue on the bottom. So I'm just taking the brown from this Revolution palette for the base colour. Basically just putting it over the line, the black line that we made. I'm not really worrying if it's going below the line as well, because we'll just cut it. But it's just to basically start to blend out that harsh black line. And then I take an orange from this palette and pack that over the top to warm it up. And I take the white from this and just set here. And then I take my white again and I'm gonna cut the crease. Oh yeah. Now we're gonna add some drama. So I'm gonna take this chunky iridescent kind of glitter. Just gonna pop it on my finger and just, oh yes. Oh, I love glitter. And I'm only kind of just packing it onto these bits to kind of that kind of arch there. So I'm kind of just going just that bit, because that bit's gonna be smoky, and we'll put highlighter on the other bit. Oh, do you see that? It's just so dramatic. That is more dramatic than Scottish drag. So now I'm going to fill in the wings. Usually I use a gel liner, but I don't have one at the moment, so I'm just using the black, and I'll set it with black eyeshadow. Okay, so now that the wings are filled in, we're going to start smoking them out a little bit. Sometimes I smoke them out, and sometimes I add like a different colour in there just to fill up that space a little bit, just because it all looks a tiny bit disjointed. So today I think I'm going to go for a kind of warm kind of smoke. So I'm going to take kind of a bit of this colour and a bit of this colour as well. And I'm going to start at the very corner and sort of just drag it in, keeping as close to the edge of the wing as possible. And patting it in almost diagonally. And starting to blend it into the very edge of the glitter. Then I take the highlight palette here and I take a little bit of the purple one and just sort of pat it in, like very gently. Like that. And it just adds a bit of shimmer. Now we're gonna work on the inner and lower eyes. So I'm gonna add a line that extends out from here, and then kind of just fill it in a little bit there. I always fuck up these lines. One of them is always better than the other, but too bad, too bad. So then we're taking the white and we're gonna add a line on the inner corner that matches that line. Like that, and we just continue it. So I line the full under eye in white, and I also put it in my waterline. Dramatique. So then I take my flash palette and I take the green shade and I'm gonna create the line for the under eye shadow. So I'm just gonna do a green line that follows and just extends out a little bit like that. So then I'm taking this palette and I take this kind of limey green colour and I just use it to sort of blend out the green line a little bit. Also, if you get like way too much of the eyeshadow on the bottom, don't worry, because the when you dust off your bake, it'll be fine. And also don't worry if it goes over the white that you've put in, because we're gonna just cut it again. Okay, so that's the eyes more or less done. We just need to add some brows. So the way that I do my brows, it changes all the time. So sometimes they're just a singular line, like a really thin brow. Sometimes they're quite chunky. Sometimes they've got flicks of hairs. We'll just see what I decide. Okay, so we'll add like a little, so then basically I just take a little bit more product and go like that, and just join that up like that. These are very dramatic brows, yes, I know. Okay, so now let's do the nose contour. So we're basically going to take the same brush that we did with the eyeshadow and just extend the eyeshadow out a little bit. In a way, the eyeshadow becomes the nose contour, I guess. And I kind of just leave it like that, and then... And I take this brush, oh, there's hair on it. I take this brush and just sort of do a little bit of a line here. And then just go. Okay, so now we can finally rub off the bake. And I'm kind of just more blending it in, just letting it settle into that foundation. As you can see, it's already been doing that throughout the video, but we'll just give it a bit of encouragement. This is why I like men with mustaches. So I've got this Revolution Ultimate Blush palette, and I'm gonna take this kind of peachy kind of color, and I'm just gonna smile and really gently pat this on. And I just extend it all the way up a little bit, and I kind of concentrate it here. And then I add just a teeny bit here to make me look like I've sneezed because of coronavirus. Normally I would set it after this, but I don't have any setting spray at the moment, which is a pain in the arse, but oh well. I'm gonna add a little beauty mark, so I always add one here, and I usually add one here as well, just beside my nose. And then I usually add one there, but we'll wait until we've done highlight. I hate lashes. So what I'm gonna add next is a swoosh of highlighter. This is the Nikki Tutorials Oprah Highlighter. It's good. And I'm just gonna add like a line. Oh, see that? Blind the children. I do think. Thoughts affirmative. So the last part is lips. So I'm taking the red mixed with a little bit of like the black and the brown, just to create like a kind of dark burgundy shade. This is what I love about flash palettes. You can have any color lips you want. I disassociated there. And then I'm gonna take this like red lipstick and just fill in the center. It's slightly lighter, so. Gorgeous. And that's your face done. So I'm just gonna pop on a quick outfit, pop on some hair, and I'll be right back. This is the final look. She is blended, she is exaggerated, she's dramatic. Her boyfriend is a mechanic. He's just fixed her Ford Fiesta, and she's gonna go to a rose gold themed 21st birthday tonight. Wait, no, we're in quarantine. She's gonna go on Zoom tonight for a rose gold themed 21st. She's staying at her mum's house because she works at the Boots makeup counter. She's getting furloughed. She's been drinking mimosas all day. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and if you want to see more from me, then just let me know. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram, that's at Marie Saint Sandy, for my poetry, witty humour and other looks.